unleash your mind. Freedom is a state of mind.
Really crazy stories, of course. You know, a guy was telling me he was over in Atlantis, like taking acid with his friends, and his friend like encouraged him to jump off the cliff into the water, and as he was jumping, he looked behind him and he saw himself standing on the cliff. But it was like a really important moment for him, so he marked it in the map, you know.
Wow.
Just so many interesting stories I learned, and I wrote all of them down. I'm making a little anecdote book out of them so that people can look back and read.
Wow, now that is a very powerful thing, to writing a book of all these stories. It's like a chicken soup for humanity, you know? It's like, you know, I mean, it's not even, it's just all these different places around the world you went.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I've also done, you know, interviewed people as they were doing it, so I could really get the details on the story too. I also marked, for the first time I did, together with the map, a world map. So, because I just thought Ibiza is full of so many people from all over the world, I wanted to see what the connections were.
It's like, you're not just talking the talk, you're actually walking the walk. And they're, you know, and you're on the way. And that to me is just, that's what we need to see. We need to expose that.
It's because it's kind of a weird word. But that's kind of the only category that my art really fits in. So psychogeography is this concept that was created by this guy named Guy Debord in the 60s. He was part of the Situationists, who were based mostly in Paris. And their main goal was to explore urban spaces and to see what people's relationship is with their environment. It's like a sociological experiment. It's kind of art, I guess.
So what is art for you when you say like you guess?
I mean, I think art can be almost anything. That's art can even be your everyday life if you're documenting it or in some way putting some kind of frame around it. But I think art can be almost anything. In some ways, I don't even really care about the definition of art and like what is art. That's why I feel like people can think what I do is art or not. Like it really doesn't matter to me as long as they actually can like have a personal experience with my project. In fact, a lot of people are kind of afraid of art. They think they don't know enough about it. So I usually don't describe this as art like, on the street because it can tend to intimidate people sometimes. So you know, this is just an embroidery, you know, and you can mark in it. You can tell me your stories. That's all that matters to me.
So you're also interested in the story they tell you, but also like you're interested in the experience they have with you while you're doing that, right?
Also.
So that's also where you get your satisfaction a bit, or like
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Also, part of my satisfaction comes from the fact that I'm kind of afraid even sometimes to go out in the street and put myself out there and just sit in some foreign country in some little alley with my with my thing, and I don't know, like anything could happen, right? You know? And you know, some unpleasant things have happened. Like sometimes I've been robbed, or like
Really?
Maybe like adolescents are sometimes kind of rough and try to cut the map or like intimidate me or things like that. days. I mean, things have happened over
Yeah.
all these years. It's been about 8 years. So.
Wow.
But like, those were just a handful of bad things.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
in all of the days, like mostly, I kept doing it because every time I went out, I was just amazed at how actually generous and giving people were. Strangers,
Wow.
with their time and with their stories, and then with each other. So.
So let's come back to this word art, because this is what is interesting for me. I mean, you would call yourself an artist?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But really only because I studied art and I kind of come from that context,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit more about this context. Like, when did you realize, okay, I'm an artist, or I want to be one, or
Right,
what
yeah.
was this initial moment for you where you realized there is something like I could call myself an artist, or
Right. Well, like I said, like all kids, I did art, but then I really just kept doing it, you know. So, like I was really into painting. So
you were also encouraged by your parents to
yeah, very much.
keep
Yeah.
doing it? It was not
Mhm.
like, yeah.
And I just had the luck to have really good teachers in school. So I really loved to paint in high school,
Mhm.
and then I continued studying painting in college. And so that's, I guess you could say, oh, now I'm an artist. I'm at school studying art. But so I was painting a lot, and then I went to grad school too, and I kept painting. But that's where I discovered I also like to do all of these other things, participatory things. You know, because painting for me was a really personal experience and like really intense. All of this time, just me and the canvas,
Yeah.
and
A lot of pain in the
Yeah.
painting.
yeah, putting all my emotions into the paintings, and actually physical pain. I would always get like really bad muscle problems from, I don't know, just painting. And anyway, but then I discovered, wow, like what interests me right now in my life is doing things that involve many people, and where it's not really, the end product is not really just mine, it's like everyone's. And just seeing connections and relationships between people, you know. I have a feeling I'll get back to painting in a few years, like when this desire has been, worked through, I guess. You know, I've always had this really strong connection to nature, but I lost it living in the city so long. And it was kind of like I lost part of myself. And so being here in Ibiza was like coming back home, sort of.